Yes.
Please make sure that everybody turn down their microphone. I was trying to write a decision for the zoning board.
Right.
And we had no stenographer for that. You know, we don't always have.
Couldn't hear the tape.
I couldn't hear the tape.
You don't read lips? Huh? You don't read lips?
YouTube, you're gonna read that?
Wait till you get old and you can't hear, you learn. Okay, we're gonna start the meeting. I'd like to call to order the planning commission meeting Wednesday, January 24th, 2024. It is now 6:30. Determination of quorum. Mr. Kinney is excused tonight. Mr. Smith.
Present.
Mr. Reyes is excused tonight. Mr. Burke.
Here.
Mr. Price.
Here.
Secretary Anderson.
Here.
Vice Chair Colunian.
Here.
Chairman Flynn is here. We have a quorum of 7. Emergency evacuation, the doors you came in, go out to the left, to the right. If you could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty, justice for all. Just a correction, we have a quorum of 6 tonight. Okay, we have an election of officers. I entertain nominations, please.
Mr. Flynn, if I may, I'd like to nominate a slate for chairperson, Mr. Ron Flynn. For assistant chairperson would be Mr. Rick Colunian, and for secretary, Mr. Glenn Anderson.
Okay, thank you for that nomination. Is there any other nominations, individual or slates? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Thank you.
You made.
I have to say it again, if it wasn't for a good board, makes my job much easier. Okay, approval of minutes. 6.1, December 20th, 2023 meeting. I have a motion for them to approve the minutes.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for the December 20th, 2023 meeting.
I have a
Second.
motion by Mr. Burke. I have a second by Mr. Price. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Okay, we have a recommendation to zoning. 7.1, Ken Ray Drive, dwelling. 1, Ken Ray Drive. Owner, FXS Construction and Company. Application, Angelo Raimondi. Requesting a special use permit to construct a 2-family house. Requesting a special use permit to construct a 2-family house, AP 45 Lot 5, VMC zoning. Anybody here representing the applicant, come on up. Name and address, please, for the record.
David Johnston, attorney.
Just want to do a brief presentation. It's pretty straightforward, but
Yeah, absolutely. So this is probably familiar with me here as the FXS owner of FXS Construction as well. We were here end of last year, I believe it was September, then again in November for the ratification for a minor subdivision, creating the lot that's subject to this special use permit. This is the lot currently holds the garage. It's a 3-bay old style garage on Ken Ray Drive, directly across from the ball field. This is not on the corner. It's just one in from the corner. The requirements of the zone are 7,500 square feet. We meet all of the site plan that was drawn meets all of the dimensional requirements of the zoning ordinance as well. So it's dimensionally requirement. Use is allowed by special use permit. It meets the criteria of a special use permit in the zoning ordinance, which I can certainly discuss in more detail, but we'll discuss that as well at the zoning board. So the applicant's looking for really the best use here is going to be residential use. It's a VMC zone, but it's in that pocket, I guess it'd be just south between Main Street and the ball field. It's all residential homes there. There's quite a bit of, just down the road is the condo complex. I can't think of the name of that complex. It was built by Assalone.
River's Edge.
River's Edge. River's Edge. You know, so there's a lot of high density residential in that area, which is why we have the 7,500, you know, square foot requirement there. So that's really it. We're here. We can discuss, you know, anything that, any questions or concerns the board may have.
I don't have any myself. The staff doesn't seem to have any. Does anybody on the board have any issues?
So you're gonna have city water,
Yes, city water, city sewer. There's an easement through
Right.
the
I recall now,
it goes down to Main Street and it connects in at that main there.
right? And the existing structure is gonna be modified or demolished?
The existing structure, the 3-car garage is going to be demolished.
Okay, I didn't see that in here. If I missed
You
it.
know, I thought I put it, I may not.
Said it was gonna be raised, but it didn't. I
Yeah.
don't think it said demolished.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Anybody else? Okay, I'll entertain a motion for recommendation to zoning for special use permit.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a favorable recommendation to the zoning board that the proposed two-family dwelling, special use permit for the two-family dwelling be approved for all of the reasons outlined in the planning director's report, and I'd like to make the planning director's report part of my motion.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Clooney, and I have a second. I have a second by Mr. Price. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank
Good
you
luck
all.
in
Have a
zoning.
great evening.
Okay, next on the agenda is Brudor Solar Array, 420 Hopkins Hollow Road. Owners Charles Brudor, applicant same, requesting a special use permit to construct a minor solar installation, AP 308, Lot 41, R5. Come on up, sir. Name and address for the record.
Sure. Charles Brodeur, 420 Hopkins Hollow Road, Green. Yeah, we're asking for a special use permit for a solar array, ground-based. It meets all the requirements of the zoning for a minor solar installation. With the reason for the special permit is because we have a non-conforming lot that's, I think, 3.79 acres in a R5, so.
Right.
Right, so that,
Thanks. Anybody have any questions for the applicant?
And this is solely to be sold commercial back to the utility company?
this is, yeah, it's a residential, it's the residential style, so it's a net metering.
In other words, you don't have a property, own a home on the abutting property. It's
Oh.
not for that. This is going in back to the electric.
This is
100%.
for the home that's on this property.
Okay, that's,
Yeah, it's a residential solar, so it's it's one of the small ones. It's just.
in other words, it's
ground-based.
the alternative would be to put it on a roof.
It's the
Got
same
it.
type as a roof,
Make-
yes.
yep,
It's just we're
make-
doing the ground. It's a 150 to 200-year-old house and
Got it. Nope,
so,
I agree. No, I just wanted to get clarification.
Better on the ground.
yeah, so.
Go ahead, Mr. Anderson, for the question.
Yeah, please. I just got a question. I saw it was 11 KW. Right.
I believe
Is,
so.
is that traditionally a normal household size? Or is that a little larger?
It's probably a little larger. They originally based it on our usage.
Right.
And then we also installed the mini split systems. So they have an allowance for that because that's going to add more usage, right? So the idea, you still have to hit their, I forget how they do it, right? The way they calculate it is you're supposed to be within a very small amount of what your nominal use is. So in the summer, for instance, you'll generate a little extra probably, you'll get
Right.
some credits. And then in the winter, you may need to use those credits. They don't allow for anything too much more than what they expect.
Yeah, I was
you
just
to
curious.
use.
So you added those heat pumps already, or you're projecting to?
No, though we added them, but we recently added them, so we didn't have all the data
Right.
from the previous,
Yeah.
from the previous.
Yeah, I don't know if they could,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
So that's
they-
how they do it. They don't prorate it. Say, hey,
Yeah,
I'm
I
going to
think,
put up a garage next year. So can you give me this?
I think when they first calculated it, it was closer to 10.
Yeah.
And then I think when we went back, and, with the information about the mini splits,
Right.
they recalculated and got approval. It's been approved by the Rhode Island Electric.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's I forget what they call it. There's a review that they do from the solar company and then
Sure.
they.
Yeah, I just saw the 11 KW.
Yeah, it's a little bit high. And then, we didn't even, if you have an EV, for instance, you probably qualify for a
Right,
little bit.
right.
more.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, and we didn't. we
What-
didn't
what-
ask for
what
that
causes
because
it to jump
yeah,
like
I
that?
think that was mainly the mini split thing
Okay.
because, and based on usage.
Something to learn.
Yeah,
Thanks.
well, I know, we'll see. I'm very curious to see how it works out.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Anybody else? Questions for the applicant? I'll entertain a motion for a recommendation to zoning.
I'll make a motion to, a recommendation to zoning for ground mount solar for 420 Hopkins Hollow Road, assessors plat 302, lot 41, zone RR5, as described and as recommended, and include the chairperson,
So
zoning.
that's a favorable, right?
That's
Mr. Smith?
favorable, yes.
I have a motion by Mr. Smith. I have a second.
I'll have a second. One correction is plat 308.
Really, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, with that
So
correction.
moved. Yep.
I have a motion by Mr. Smith. I have a second by Mr. Clunian. Any other discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, I didn't see anybody in the audience for Buckhorn's, Buckhorn Meadow, but anybody that happens to be on Zoom, that will be continued to the meeting on February 28th.
And I
Okay,
would,
now we get to the director's report.
I would actually just ask to make a formal motion on the continuance of Buckhorn, please.
Okay, entertain a motion for continuance on Buckhorn to February 28th.
Mr. Chairman, you're continuing the matter and the public hearing because I assume it was advertised and.
Yes.
Notice.
That's
So I'm
correct. Thank
I'm
you.
entertaining a motion for the matter of Buckhorn's Meadow, Padula Builders, and also the public hearing for February 28th.
So moved.
I have a motion. I have a second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Anderson. Any other discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, Doug.
Yep.
Director's report, please.
Sure, I don't want to, we're on record pace and I don't want to break it. I'll just give the brief announcements that we had our first technical review committee meeting on January 16th. We reviewed two matters. The agenda for that, the video for that is all available. I always welcome this commission specifically to be aware of what's happening there. Ron Flynn is a member of that commission, so he can be a good liaison if you have questions on how it's working. Again, it's that commission in a way, the technical review committee in a way, gains its authority and is a bit of an arm of the planning commission. You adopt their rules and regulations. They serve in many ways to review applications that come in front of you. So you'll get to know the outcomes of their product or the outcomes of their meetings, the work products they're going to create. They'll be coming in front of you. And I just, ask to, keep an eye on it. And if there's issues, if you see something, if you have questions, feel free to be in touch with me or Ron about it. And then we have our next technical review committee meeting. It's been scheduled for February 20th. That one's likely going to be not at noon. I'm thinking we're going to shoot for 1:30. And again, it's not even clear if we have a matter of business. I think we will. But again, the agendas are public, the meetings are public. If you have questions, there's video access to them after the fact. Feel free to reach out anytime if you just want to learn more about it.
Thanks, Doug. And
Yep.
like you said, if the board members have any input, it's on Zoom. They can email you with any questions before, in fact, the Buckhorns was coming to us. So you could get that data before the meeting.
Yep, you guys, for the next meeting where we just continued Buckhorn, you're gonna see your first, what we'll call a TRC report, but essentially staff reporting out on the specific comments and outcomes of the TRC review. So you're gonna start to see that coming to you as part of the staff reports. It's actually a document they're creating because that document lives as part of the outcome of that meeting. So in a way, it's kind of a separate document we create.
Thank you. Okay, that brings us to public comment. I don't see anybody in the audience. Anybody on Zoom, raise their hand if they'd like to have a public comment tonight. Nobody? Okay, no public comment tonight, Zoom or public. I'll have a motion for adjournment.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Have a motion by Mr. Smith, have a second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Burke. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, meeting adjourned.
6:44.
Don't